Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello everyone, it's the 6th day of Dephemerember. So it's hosted by Barbara over at 49 Dragonflies and Luise Heinzl. Their links are below in the description. So we're on day 6 and I'll pronounce this wrongly, I know, but it's Kintsugi houses is the prompt today, and I believe it's December the 12th. So I'm just doing up my background here, and I had some little gel plate shapes, the little mini shapes, and they're fantastic for stamping and doing little projects. So I used the square one and the triangle one to give an impression of that classic house shape in the background. Now, look, I had a few goes at what I was going to try and put together. I just used, some scrap papers like butcher's paper that you get in your Amazon packaging. I've got a whole heap of that at the moment, so it's good to do little prototypes with. So at first I tried like paper doll style houses where you just concertina them and cut them out. No, didn't like that. I've tried some pop-up houses, all sorts of things. But the little paper doll houses, I thought, well, they'll be fantastic on the background, just nice and subtle. So all I'm doing here is I'm just adding some sploshes over them. So I have put gold on, I'm doing a bit of stamping on my background, and I'm trying to add some gold through it and some gold tones and some blues, because a lot of the pottery, what Kintsugi is that Japanese art where they would repair broken pottery and make it into something beautiful. So, I mean, the ultimate recycling. And they'd join the cracks with gold or platinum, I believe, but mostly gold. And blue often makes me think of Chinese and Japanese pottery colours. So, I've sort of got just an impression. Now, I'm just using matte medium to stick these down because it's quite a thin kind of butcher paper kind of thing, what's a duvet. I've also used some pencils on the little houses in the background, and I used one of those, what do you call those, watercolour charcoal pencils, just to add a bit of shadow. And I do go back and I make the windows and the doors even darker. And then I'm going over the whole thing with the matte medium just to give it a bit of a seal. And voila, there's my background. So now onto my little project that I'm doing for the actual prompt. I had a piece of cardstock. It's sort of a light beige, this colour, but it's a piece of cardstock that I am folding up into a trifold. And what I want to do is I want to do it as a flip. So I'm kind of just cutting those, those lovely tall houses. I love the tall houses, the stylised kind of houses. And so I'm just working out if I want a bit of a curved roof or a bit of a shape, straight roof. In the end, I went a wonky straight roof. Voila. So see what I mean? Little trifold. And then I'm just giving it an impression of houses. So I'm marking off the roofs in the little triangle. One of these will be stuck down onto the page. And then the next step, I just use the edge of some cardboard and I use that into my stamp pad just to put lines down in the background. I used vintage photos so that it was nice and subtle, but you still get the impression that's a little journaling spot, a little place to write your notes. And then I went around the line of the roof just to give it a bit more rough and rustic kind of look, because you know me, I don't often intend to go rustic, but I'm such a slapdash kind of person that it always ends up quite rustic. Alrighty, then I just inked all around the edges, as you can see, and that is my little trifold. Now, just that's cute. But I had these two houses that I'd done in a sketchbook, and I didn't like the way I'd done the backgrounds around them. These were inspired by, I cannot remember her name. I will try and add a link, or I'll put a little subtitle over to let you know the lady that they're inspired by. I believe she's in Queensland, and I got to do a class with her during Sketchbook Revival last year. Anyhow, this is kind of going one step further. So I thought, what a great way, Liesl and Barbara are always saying, use what you have, so that's what I did. And what I'm doing is I'm tearing up the little houses and then I'm going to put gold inside in the cracks. So just like this little prototype I did there on the brown card, because I had to test it out to see if it worked, first of all. Now, mine won't be as neat as the beautiful art that you see. It's dead set well worth going and having a look at the way that some of these absolute true artists put these beautiful pottery pieces back together. Absolutely gorgeous and so different to what we do nowadays where everything is just throwaway. All right, now look, all I'm doing on the edges, you know how you can get gold acrylic paint? This was just in a kid's set even. It wasn't even, an expensive acrylic paint. That's what I love about acrylic paints. You often don't need to go too expensive, especially if doing multimedia. And I'm just tapping it along the edges. So, look, it didn't take too long, but it takes a little bit of attention to detail. So I've sped it up here so that you don't have to sit through the boring process of me going tap, tap, tap all along the edge. And then I let that dry a little bit. I used my heat dryer slightly, and I just, as it was drying, not completely dried, start to just press it down. So it looks a little bit clunky in the end, and I like that look. I think it really adds, it wasn't what I was going for, but I love how it kind of looks bulky and it looks like a real something that you've added afterwards to put it back together. I just kind of liked that look in the end. So yeah, just drying it off, but not sort of completely. It's still a little warm here. You know how you get the edge casing of your acrylic paint sort of dry, but it's still not completely dry all the way through. So that just helped me grab my bone folder to just press the gold down so that it kind of seamed itself together a little bit more. And honestly, worked a treat. So I'm just, again, using my bone folder on the back just to press it all down really nicely, make sure that it's all glued together beautifully, and voila. Now, I didn't use matte medium here. I believe I just used one of my all-purpose or art glitter glue, one of those, probably my all-purpose. And there were just a couple of little gaps, so I just used a paintbrush to touch them up because, of course, I try to be neat and accurate, but I'm really not neat and accurate. It's why I don't measure. I mean, it's fun, isn't it? It's the process. And oftentimes the first time you do it, like on something like this, it's only the second one. I had the little prototype. You always learn something. All right, so now I'm sticking it down onto my page. So I used some coffee dyed cheesecloth, coffee tea. My brain's getting all scrambled. Put that just to lift it off the background and to give it a little bit more weathering. I think it's really cute. And then I added this bit of sari cloth along the bottom just to anchor it and help the house sit onto something rather than look like it was floating on the page. So I'm really thrilled with how this turned out. I put my material down first so that then I could be careful about how I placed my house on. But everybody, that's it. That's my little Kintsugi houses. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the process. I really enjoyed making these, and I feel like now that I've done a few more Dephemerembers, I'm kind of getting slowly into my mojo. I haven't felt like I'm powering through creatively like I did last year, so this has been wonderful to just get that creative energy back in. What fun! I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!